Iran is escalating its nuclear ambitions again, just a few days into the new year. It's actually just one technical step away from harnessing enough power for a nuclear weapon. Lauren Magarino is with us tonight to talk about why this latest escalation would be significant, especially when you look at the past and now. Lauren?
Absolutely. I mean, this moment for many people is kind of like deja vu. I remember last year, around this time, I was talking about a very similar headline, but this time around it's significant because of the timing. A new administration is on its way in, and one that is keen on returning to the negotiating table. So Iran is shoring up leverage, and it's doing that by ramping up its uranium enrichment process to 20%, or in layman's terms, getting closer to reaching weapons grade level. It's a complete breach to the nuclear deal between Tehran and other international members of the deal. Now, I want to show you why it's a brazen move, and I like visuals. So here's one. Enriching uranium is all about purifying the element. So Iran is completely stripping away those gray dots on your screen. Those are unwanted isotopes, and once they're gone, you're left with that red dot or desired isotope that can power a nuclear chain reaction. So when Iran says it's boosting purity to 20%, you can see it's just 4 unwanted isotopes away from a weapon. Now, we've seen this escalation before, starting around 2010, and it got the Israeli, American, and UN's attention and turned out multilateral sanctions, military threats, and ultimately agreements, including the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or you may know it as the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. But since then, tensions have ratcheted up between the U.S. and Iran. We know President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal in 2018, saying it was, quote, horrible and didn't do enough. Then he signed an executive order reimposing sanctions on Iran. And then a year ago, as I kind of alluded towards the beginning of our chat, the U.S. killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, one of Iran's most powerful military leaders. And video we were watching just yesterday, there was a rally in Iran marking the anniversary of Soleimani's death. So the Biden administration will have to take these escalations into account while restarting negotiations. And in the meantime, Iran's going to try and shore up as much nuclear power as it can before an agreement cuts into its nuclear capabilities.
Well, Lauren, President Obama at the time, he faced a similar situation when he was new into office. He was able to get the UN Security Council to approve sanctions, to apply more pressure, and that included Russian support. That's gone. Today, we're pretty much on our own after we exited the JCPOA. What tools, if any, exist?
Washington still has economic leverage, and that the Biden administration could rebrand, if you will, the Trump administration's policy and succeed.
There is a way to turn the Trump policy into the Biden policy and get Iran to concede, because if no one wants to go to war, and no one wants to give premature sanctions relief or deliver pallets of cash like happened in the past, there has to be a middle course. And perhaps through some clever rebranding, the Biden team could use the economic leverage generated in the past couple of years, change the framing, narrow the target, and perhaps reach a genuinely more comprehensive deal. It's going to be tough. Politically, it may not be savory, but I think it's the safer, smarter course of action.
Now, Taleblu said the window for cooperation between both administrations is now open, but so far, President-elect Biden has said he'd like to return to the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, a deal Taleblu told me is dead in all but its name, Chance.